Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of the Surfing Your Edge podcast. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about my vision for why we are bothering to do this, right? Not everybody needs to have a podcast. So, what made me think that maybe I should? Um, so, let's talk just a tiny bit about what we've covered so far. Surfing Your Edge, in the way that I think about it, is standing on the edge of where you are and what's possible, right? It's standing a little bit farther out of your on the edge of your comfort zone and staying there a little longer than you may want to, so that you actually start to expand your comfort zone a little bit more. And the reason I think you should do that is because there's a great quote from George Adair that says, everything you wanted is sitting on the other side of fear. And I am not telling you that you have to overcome your fear, because I really don't think we do that. I don't think fearless is a thing. I think fear is there and you do it anyway, right? So surfing your edge in my world is a way of learning to make friends with your fear and really appreciating that it serves a big purpose, right? It's there to keep you safe, but it's also there to show you the way forward into growth. And a lot of people treat fear like it's a stop sign when it's actually just a sign that's saying, keep going, it's that direction, you've got it, right? So that is what surfing your edge is for me, and why I think it's important that you do it. If you're here on this planet, you've got more to do, right? So instead of sitting here being afraid of everything and saying one day you'll take care of that, one day you'll do this, I would really love it if you'd take a step toward it today. So, if you haven't yet taken that step forward, we've also talked a little bit about some of the reasons why. There are internal reasons. We've all been conditioned by the time we're adults to start thinking about what our limitations are, right? We look more at what our limitations are than what our possibilities are. And the older we get, I tend to find that becomes ever more true. And you'll get those people who are feeling like, oh, my time to do that was 20 years ago. I've lost my shot. I can't do it. We've also got people who are feeling like they're not ready to take that step. They may never be ready, right? And that's the thing. We are never ready. And if we are, we've waited too long. You'll hear me say that again and again. Um, so, obviously, we've got all of these ideas about who we are and how we should behave and how the world works and how things are done. And we've internalized a bunch of those. We've also got people out in the world happily policing those boundaries for us, telling you, oh no, you can't do that. That's not right for you. You should do this, right? That's one of the things that people love to tell you. Oh, you're interested in this? Well, then you should do this. And it's like, no, that's not what I want to do. I want to do this. And we learn to make, I call it reality sizing your dreams. We learn to make smaller visions, right? We're afraid to go for the big thing that we really, really want. So we bring it down several levels and we go for something that's in the right direction, but that doesn't really take us all the way to what we want. Oh, I've got to tell you something. You know, I like to go on tangents, and this is it's a tangent that we should go on. Um, Psychology research is starting to show that it is not the ideas you have about your past that determine who you are in the moment. It's your ideas about your future, right? What you think is possible for you is much more powerful in determining how you're going to behave today, the choices you're going to make, the words you're going to say out loud, what you believe is possible, what you believe is a true potential for you. That's the power, right? We think, oh, this happened and this happened and this happened, and I was raised to be this way, and my parents were this way, and that's why I am the way I am. And that is true, right? We have been influenced by all of those things. But the true predictor of how you're going to behave tomorrow, or this morning, or today, whatever, is what you're thinking about, what you're thinking is possible for you in the future. If you think, you're going to go surfing with me in Panama one day, then, you'll be making decisions that lead toward that. If you think you're um, gonna stay at the job you're in for the rest of your life and retire and, sit on the couch with your spouse and watch television, you're gonna be making decisions that lead toward that future. So, coming back to where we were before that little side trip, I really hope that you will come on this journey with me because I love watching people's ideas of who they are and what's possible for them explode. And I am really good, actually, at asking the kinds of questions that get you to think a little bit differently and start to open open up what's possible. I lead an annual event that's my Ignite event, and I routinely see people's minds explode when they think about what is possible for their year, what is possible for them to aim toward. And I would love it if you'd come along and aim for something a little bit more bold, a little bigger, a little badassier than what you might have woken up this morning thinking was in your future. And the reason I'm doing this now is because I feel like the world has sped up and it is becoming more chaotic, and the things we thought were true are not holding to be true. The future that our parents had in their minds is not the future, and that they may have instilled in us. It's not the future that's unfolding. And a lot of times your first instinct might be to stay small, right? To play by the rules, to not ruffle any feathers, right? And yet, if there are feathers to be ruffled, I think now is the time to ruffle them. There are there are forces at play right now that are, I really do see, this is going to sound crazy, but I really do see that we are in a battle of light and dark. And the darkness, the there is a part of the world that is meant to evolve, and there are people who are still holding that vision, who are terrified of the evolving. And this is their last gasp, right? This is their last stand trying to hold back the vision for the world that really needs to come. And I want you to be part of the light. I want you to be empowered enough to recognize not only can you have the life that you dream of for yourself, but you can become part of the solution, right? You may not have any clue what you can contribute to the world's greater issues, and yet there is something in front of you that you care deeply about. And if you just took a few steps toward making that problem a little smaller, and we all did that, if we all stood shoulder to shoulder and we all just did a few small things that mattered to us individually, the whole world would shift, right? I see the world's problems as fractals of each other, right? At the bottom of most of the biggest problems on this planet is the fact that we don't treat each other well, right? We don't, that whole love your neighbor thing. And when people aren't cared for, when they aren't loved, when they aren't nurtured, then they do dangerous, scary things in the world that are driven by fear and anger and hurt, right? So it all comes down, believe it or not, to having more love in the world. And so poverty, racism, sexism, climate change, right? All of it comes down to they're all just they're all just fractals of the same problem. And we don't have to solve them all, right? We don't have to solve even one all by ourselves. But if we all pick the thing in front of us that speaks to us and just move forward in that direction, it comes to like Mother Teresa, I think. I don't know if these were her words, but my idea of the way Mother Teresa thought was that you do what you can for who you can with what you've got, right? You start from where you are, you do what you can. And that's the movement I want to lead. And if you have a movement in you, even if you haven't yet defined what that movement is, then I want you to come and let's all be movement makers together. And I know that we've gone from, little things, talking about things in our personal lives to zooming all the way out to solving all of the world's big problems. And that can be a little overwhelming. So let's bring it back down to the personal level. And I'd love it if you wanted to take the first step with me. I am creating a community for movement makers. And I would love it if you would join us. Again, you don't have to do it alone. We have got some of the most amazing, heart-centered, brilliant, curious, wonder-seeking people. And we would love to invite you to come join us. Check us out. It's not a big commitment. You can join for a month, you can join for the year, whatever makes sense to you. So click the link below and join us in the Surfing Your Edge salon, and let's go surfing. Thank you for surfing your edge with me on your way to becoming your bigger, bolder, badass self. This week, choose one idea from today's show that made you curious or furious, challenged you, or made you want to try something different. Play with it and see what happens. I've always got a special gift for you, so click the link below to find out what it is and come back next week to catch a brand new wave. Until then, I am wishing you wonder.